Oh, I
Huh?
can't sing.
No, you can sing. You can sing. I just
Because
wanted to say
Sapnap was like, I wanna know some ass. And nobody said anything about him. How are you doing? Do you have a timer?
No. Should I?
You're supposed to have a. Are you dumb? No,
Okay, well, I
I'm just
started the
letting you know right
stopwatch.
now.
You're gonna do what?
You're not even gonna finish in an hour.
No, I'm not. I'm lagging. Should I just like look up on the internet how to decrease lag?
Do you have Optifine?
No, I do not. Not on this version. I'm playing the
Yeah,
most
then.
recent version. I didn't get Optifine for it yet. Ravine! Oh my gosh, that is so
What?
lucky. Ravine,
What's so
right at
lucky?
my spawn. Wow.
Ma'am, you're not gonna do this in like 20 minutes. You're not Dream.
I'm not gonna do this in 4 minutes, love. But I'm saying I
You're
found
not
a ravine.
Illumina.
And
It's
I
gonna be
know
interesting to
I'm far from Dream, love. I'm just saying that
You're
I
not
found a
Illumina.
ravine. This is my first time speedrunning, by the way. I don't know if I said this already.
You did.
I did?
Okay.
Oh. So I guess I did something right. This entire
Hopefully you did
video is just
something
gonna
right.
be me, like, changing my settings until I stop lagging.
To be honest.
I'm gonna do 40 FPS. Let's see
40.
what happens. Yes! It doesn't lag.
You laugh so weird.
What?
You laugh weird.
Oh my gosh, I didn't do an intro for this video.
Oh, were you supposed to?
Am I supposed to?
I don't know, are you?
I guess I am. Um. Hi, I'm Andy. You can call me Munchie as well. I didn't do an intro, but here it is. Okay, back to mining.
Anyways, that was a lame intro.
Wow, okay. Whatever.
Lame. Okay, tell me a story.
Huh?
I'm bored.
What?
Tell me a story, I'm bored.
I don't have a story. Oh my gosh, okay, there's this like creepy like doppelganger story that I read on Reddit. Because we love Reddit posts and all that jazz. And I wanted to pee my pants.
Why?
Because it was pretty scary.
It can't be that bad.
Nah, it was kind of scary. Like I legit,
really
like I
believe
was reading it and my body was like going numb. I was like, "Are you serious?" And it's like a short one too. So I was just like, "Oh my god."
The way I don't believe you.
The way that you should believe me. I need
I
building
really
blocks.
don't. I don't. You need to go to Nether. Do you know how to speed the Nether
No, I do not.
portal thing? Oh, you see, that is a very important part that you should have probably like known how to do.
I'll learn how to do it during this. Should I like submit this to like if I actually do this in like one attempt, I'm seriously like if it's a good time, like if it's under an hour, that's a good time for me basically. So if it's like under an hour, I'm just gonna like submit it and be like, here you go. Please put me on your board.
Higher expectation.
Higher what?
I have higher expectations.
You have higher expectations than less than an hour? Like what?
Yeah.
I thought your expectations was an hour.
Huh?
I thought your expectation was an hour.
No, I changed my mind. It is gonna be at least 20 minutes. At most 20 minutes.
My dog has started to cry. She woke up. She woke up. I woke her up. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
What are you doing now?
What am I doing now? I'm mining coal. So I can
You're mining
smelt my
coal?
Iron. Yeah. So I can smelt my iron. I need coal.
Ma'am, you cannot spend this much time mining coal. You should be in the nether already.
What are you talking about?
Slow.
It's been 7 minutes.
Slow.
I kind of really want to find gold so I can make gold boots. Because I just want gold boots. That's all I really want in life.
I think
Gold
I'm gonna
boots.
replace this with.
So I'm gonna go looking for the gold. Oh, I don't even have an axe. I don't even have a weapon to protect myself. Ah! Skeleton! I don't like fighting. I am not a fighter. I am a lover, a planter of animals. No fighting. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you.
No fighting.
I am not a fighter, okay? Oh, I thought that was gold. I got so excited.
Dun, 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 dun,
How much iron do I need?
No fighting.
Just enough for like full, right?
I honestly don't know. That's a good question.
I see enough for full, because it's
28.
not like
I
I'm
think it's
gonna
28.
like die and respawn. Like if I die, like that's it.
I think
So I
it's
just need enough for full.
6 plus 8 is 14. Plus 2 is
And
18.
buckets.
Plus
I think I need like 30.
helmet.
I
is
need
2.
food!
It's like, oh wow, she forgot about food.
I
Embarrassing.
forgot about food. Oh my gosh. I need food. You know what? I can go mining
Embarrassing.
again for like gold another time because right now I need food because it is going down.
Embarrassing.
You know what? Maybe I can like find a village or something. Who knows?
Find a village.
You found a village? What?
Me? No, I'm telling you to find a village.
What?
I'm telling you to find a village.
I know that. I'm trying
Okay,
to.
then find a village.
Ah, I found a ravine. Yeah, that's where my luck ended. The ravine. Sheep! Never mind. I found sheep.
Wow.
Sheep, die. Give me your meat. Yes, sheep meat.
That's where my luck ended.
What?
Embarrassing. She's like, the ravine is where my luck ended. Look, you got a sheep.
I found
Sheeps are more
sheep.
important. Sheeps are more important.
Oh yeah, I need to make beds, right? For the end.
Yeah.
I need to make a shield as well. Should probably make like 2 crafting tables. Well, not crafting tables. What? 2 furnaces. Oh no, mobs are gonna start spawning and I'm gonna cry. I don't like this at all.
It's down to 2 people left, and I don't
Wait,
know
what are you
how.
playing? Are you playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
I
But I'm
see.
playing duos with no fail.
Wait, you're
So,
playing duos on your own?
yeah.
Like what? Why?
I forgot to change the setting because I was playing with you earlier.
Can I sleep? I can sleep, right? There's nothing against sleeping.
Yeah, but you're okay.
There's nothing against sleeping. It's gonna take a
I
while
want
for
to
these
see your
things to
8-hour
like
speed
smelt.
run
There's
on the
nothing against sleeping.
speedrun.com
I'm
boards.
sleeping. Oh wait, I need to get Enderman. I forgot about that.
Speedrun.com results.
Speedrun.com results. It takes her 2 hours to do a full run.
Not even. It's gonna be like 6 hours.
Oh my gosh, it's not gonna
Don't
be 6
lie
hours.
to yourself. Don't lie to yourself.
Did I already
It's
make
okay.
boots? I already made boots. Like this.
You have a timer on, right? So people know
Yeah,
how long
it's
you're
been
taking.
16 minutes.
Hmm.
Feels like
Okay,
longer,
so
I know.
yeah.
I
My
can't make
question
money.
is, what inspired you to do this speed run?
I don't know. I was just like, what should I do? And I was like, I could speedrun or something.
You couldn't have like, I don't know, done something else more your style?
Probably. I said, nah, I'm gonna speedrun.
Okay.
To make it my style, you know?
I almost said a bad
Wait,
word, I'm
creeper.
sorry.
Boop! style now. Oh my gosh, for a second I thought this was like the new like caves update, and I was like, I don't want to go in here anymore. I think we should just make it clear that when the new cave update happens, I'm not going caving. Because I'm not dealing with that.
You remember creepypasta stories?
Oh yeah.
We should tell them. What's your favorite?
I don't really know which one is my favorite. I guess Ben Drowned might be my favorite.
Ben Drowned?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites too. I thought like they weren't being written anymore, but I'm looking it up. Yeah. There was one like made like yesterday. Oh no, this morning or today. Yeah, this one was today.
Yeah,
You want me to read it to you?
I mean, sure, yeah.
What do you mean? Sure, yeah. Are you okay? Are you in the right headspace? Are you going to be
I'm not
fine?
sleeping tonight anyways, so
What do you mean?
I'm not gonna go to
Okay,
sleep
you know what?
tonight.
Why?
Because I'm just not. Is there a problem? Is there an issue with that? Oh, I'm taking all these
Yes, you need
beds.
your sleep. You need your sleep. Hello?
Okay, and I think I
Okay,
need
that's
like
what I'm telling you.
3
You need your
beds
sleep.
at least. 30 beds, just like 3. I have 3 beds, I'm fine. Okay, time to go looking for another cave. Tell me
Make
a
more
story.
beds.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you the story? Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I could change the story.
Look, just
I could find a better story for you. A more wholesome story.
love, it doesn't
A better,
matter.
a better, a wholesome story for Munchie. A story about cookies or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
A wholesome, cute story about
Just tell
flowers
me.
and
Just tell me
rainbows.
the story, love. Just tell me the story.
Okay. I was just making sure you're okay.
I'm
I
okay.
care about you.
Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna say this. Literally, every time I play Fortnite with her, there's literally the sound of a gunshot, and she goes, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like,
It's
"What?"
because you're always dying. You're always dying.
I am not always
Why are you always
dying.
dying?
I'm not always
You're always the
dying.
first to die.
I'm not the first to die, love, because sometimes you be dying first.
This one is called If You're Armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please
Uh,
shoot me. Okay?
what?
It's gonna take like
Your
it says it
volume is
takes
like
like
so low, love. Like, get a mic.
it's low. Okay, listen, I'm broke. Okay, and you could always go to my Discord and like, I don't know, maybe raise my volume by yourself. That sounds like a personal problem. But I will try to speak louder for your convenience, okay?
Thank you.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better? Okay.
Yeah. Why can't I find a
This one is
lava pit
called
anywhere? I'm so mad right now.
This one is called If You're Armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. Okay. Did she not hear me?
Okay.
Did you not hear me?
I heard you.
Okay.
Can you hear my dog?
If you're armed, what?
Can you hear my dog?
No.
Okay.
If you're armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. Make it
It's
a
been
headshot.
33 minutes.
Shoot me in
I'm
the
not gonna
temple,
get this.
aiming
I
slightly
can't even find a
downwards.
lava pool.
I need the bullet to travel the shortest possible distance through my brain before it hits my hippocampus. If I'm lucky, the sensation of the gunshot ripping through my skull will only last a few decades. As awful as this sounds, you'll be doing me an enormous favor. Death by headshot, as soon as possible, is vastly better than the alternative. My ordeal started over 10,000 years ago, at 10:15 this morning. I earn extra money by participating in drug trials. I'm a so-called healthy subject who takes experimental drugs to help assess side effects. Once it was a kidney drug. A few times it's been something for blood pressure or cholesterol. This morning, they told me the drug I took was a psychoactive substance intended to accelerate brain function. None of the drugs I had tested so far have ever done anything for me in the recreational sense. In other words, none of the drugs I've tested have given me a killer buzz or mellowed me out or anything. Maybe I've always ended up in the placebo group, but nothing I've tested had affected me at all. Today's drug was different. This worked. They gave me a pill at 10:15 and told me to hang out in the waiting room until they called me back for some tests. Only about 30 minutes, the research assistant told me. I flopped onto the waiting room couch and read a few articles from a copy of Psychology Today that was sitting on the coffee table. They hadn't called me back when I finished the Psychology Today, so I picked up a U.S. News and read it cover to cover. Then I read an old Scientific American. What was taking them so damn long? I sluggishly turned my head to look at the wall clock. It was only 10:23 a.m. I had read all 3 magazines in 8 minutes. I remember thinking this was going to be a long day. I was right. The waiting room had a little bookshelf with some used hardcovers on it. When I stood up to walk to the bookshelf, it felt like my legs barely worked. It's not that they were weak, they were just slow. It took me a full minute just to stand up off the couch and another minute to take 2 steps to the bookcase. I scanned the old books on the shelf and picked out a copy of Moby Dick. My arms had the same problems as my legs. Just reaching one foot in front of me to grab the book took a long time. I actually got bored waiting for my hand to reach the spine of the book. I slogged back to the couch and collapsed onto it in a slow motion fall that reminded me of the low gravity hops of astronauts on the moon. I opened Moby Dick slowly and began reading. I started with "Call Me Ishmael" and got as far as Ahab throwing his pipe into the sea, which was all the way in chapter 30 before they called me back. "How are you feeling?" the research assistant asked me. "I feel slow," I said. "Actually, it's the other way around. Everything seems slow because you're so fast." "But my legs, my arms, they're moving in slow motion." "Your body seems like it's moving slowly because your brain is fast. Your brain is running 10 or 20 times faster than normal."
I made it
You're
to
thinking,
bedrock.
why are you in bedrock?
Cause I'm
What?
trying to find lava.
You should be at the nether by now.
Yeah. I went way too low. I just kept digging down. I said eventually I found it. I'll find it.
Okay, let me go back to the story.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're thinking and perceiving reality at an accelerated pace, but your body is still constrained by the laws of biomechanics. Frankly, you're moving much faster than a normal person. She pantomimed a jogging motion. But your brain is running so much faster right now that even your fast walk seems very slow to you. I thought about my slow motion flop onto the waiting room couch. Even if my muscles had slowed down, my body would still react to gravity the same way. But in the waiting room, I even fell in slow motion. Slow muscles couldn't explain why gravity seemed weaker. My brain was going at warp 10. That's why I managed to read 3 magazines in the first 30 chapters of Moby Dick in 15 minutes. They ran a series of tests on me. The physical tests were fun. They made me juggle 3 balls, then 4, then 6. I had no problem keeping 6 balls in the air because they seemed to be moving so slowly. It was boring, frankly, waiting for each ball to move through its arc so I could catch it with my slow motion hands and toss it back into the air. They threw Cheerios in the air and I caught them with chopsticks. They dropped a handful of coins and I counted the total value before they hit the ground. The cognitive tests were less fun, but very illuminating. Finish a 50-word search, 3 seconds. Solve an intricate maze drawn into a poster-sized paper, 2 seconds. View a slideshow projected at 10 images per second and answer detailed questions about what I saw, 95% correct. They told me I measured over 250 on the Knopf scale. Apparently, that's deep into the superhuman range of thinking speeds. Then they sent me home. "It'll wear off in a few hours," they said, "which will seem like days to you. Try to use the residual effects to get some work done. Catch up on work emails while you're still in high-speed mode." The ride home was horrible. It was only 3 metro stops, and in real-world time, it only took about 35 minutes. But in my drug-accelerated hypertime, it felt like days. Just walking out of the medical research Just walking out of the medical research suite to the elevator seemed like it took an hour. I sprinted out of the office, willing my legs to push me faster, but the laws of biomechanics held me prisoner. As accelerated as my brain was, I couldn't do anything to make my legs work faster. The huge disconnect between my body and mind made it extremely difficult to judge how and when to slow down, turn, or rotate my body. I had basically turned into a giant slow motion spaz. I misjudged my speed and rammed into the wall by the elevator button at a pretty good speed. Even though I could see the wall coming at me, I couldn't make my finger outstretched to hit the elevator button, move away fast enough, and jammed it against the wall. Hard. The pain was intense, but if the pain was intense. If my brain had been running at regular speed, it probably only would have hurt for 30 seconds or so, but in my accelerated state, the intense pain seemed to last for half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe. The elevator ride was horrible. It felt like I spent 4 or 5 hours just ascending 7 floors, with nothing to look at but the interior of the elevator car. I sprinted to the metro station. I have to admit, this part was almost fun, even though my body moved at what seemed to me super slow speed. I could still carefully choose how and where to place my feet, swing my arms, and turn my torso. It only took a block or two getting it only took a block or two to getting used to having a brain that ran 2 dozen times faster than my body. Then I basically sprint danced the rest of the way, twisting and juking between people on the sidewalk and dodging moving cars with inches, aka minutes, of clearance. I spent an hour in my time frame descending to the subway and running to the platform. Endless tedium, waiting the 6 minutes for the red line train to arrive. Although there was more to look at the metro platform than inside the elevator, it was still intensely boring. I should have stolen that copy of Moby Dick. The red line train roared into the station in slow motion. The normally high-pitched squeal of its brakes was frequently shifted by my high-speed mind to a long, low tone, like the monotone tuba solo. It wasn't just a squealing subway train that was 3 octaves lower than normal. All sound was slowed to the point of near inaudibility. Voices were gone, shifted below the threshold frequency of my hearing. I did manage to hear a screaming baby on my subway car. Her shrieks slowed to sound like whale songs. Sharp sounds like car horns and trucks bouncing over potholes were low. Muddied roars like distant thunder. Back at the research office, I could still hear and communicate with the research staff, but now verbal communication with anyone would be impossible. The effects of the drug were still intensifying. I spent what seemed like days on that train, listening to the wail song of the screaming baby and the tuba solo of the brakes. Where ordinary voices were frequently shifted out of my audio range, smells didn't seem to be affected. I never became nose-blind to the body odor, the stench of the train's brakes, and the melange of farts and other smells wafting through the metro car. I finally got back to my apartment. Sprinting through my open door and into the front hall at full speed was like a slow, relaxing drift down a lazy river. I was relieved to be home. At least I had stuff I could do there. I picked up the book I was reading, 100 Years of Solitude, and finished it, despite turning the pages so quickly that I tore many of them. It seemed like most of the time I spent finishing the book was spent on page turning and not actually reading. 3 minutes had passed since I got home. I tried surfing the internet. My god, it takes a long time for computers to boot these days. But it was so frustratingly slow. Hours to load each new page, and a fraction of a second to read it. 100 articles in my newsfeed read, and just 3 more minutes done. I dipped into my pile of yet-to-be-read books and finished 2 more. 4 more minutes have passed. I decided to try to sleep off the remaining effects of the drug. Unfortunately, whatever part of my mind was responsible for perception, the part that's been accelerated to hyperspeeds by the drug, isn't the same as the part that governs sleep. Despite being awake for what I perceived as days, my physical brain still thought it was 1:25 p.m. It was not ready for sleep. Nevertheless, I tried to sleep. I walked into my bedroom, a slow 45-minute drift through my apartment, and flung myself into bed, lazily falling like a feather onto the mattress. I closed my eyes and laid there for hours and hours, 10 minutes of reality time, before giving up. Sleep would not come. I was facing what was going to feel like days, or maybe even weeks of being trapped in a slow motion prison. So I took an Ambien. The sensation of the pill and the splash of water I used to swallow it sliding down my throat was sickening. A lump that blocked my breathing, moving like a slug down my esophagus. I read a book. 10 minutes have passed. I read another. 18 minutes since I took the Ambien. I threw the book across the room in disgust at my situation. The book slowly pirouetted and spun through the air, like a leaf blowing in a breeze. It hit the wall with a long, faint rumble, the only sound I had heard for what seemed like hours, then drifted to the floor in a flip-flop, sinking in the swimming pool. The force of gravity hadn't changed since I took the pill. The laws of physics were the same. It was just my perception of time that had gone wackadoo. This meant that I could use the speed things seemed to fall as a way of judging the effects of the drug. Based on how long it took the book to drift into the floor, I estimated the effects of the drug were still intensifying. I read a magazine. I turned on the television. I clearly saw each frame of video like I was watching a slideshow. Frustrated, I turned the television off. I read some more. The first two books of Churchill's A History of the English-Speaking Peoples, not exactly a light read. Frankly, I hated it, but given the hours of tedium it would take to go get another book off my bookshelf, just sitting on the couch and reading Churchill was better. Or at least less worse. It had now been 35 minutes since I took the Ambien. I lay down on the couch and closed my eyes. Time passed. I inhaled. An hours-long process. Time passed. I exhaled for more hours. Sleep would not come. I needed a new plan. I decided to go back to the offices where they gave me the drug. Maybe they would have something that could counteract its effects, or at least something to knock me out until it wore off. I exited my apartment as fast as possible, taking hours in my time frame to do so. I didn't even bother locking the door. It would have taken too long. Down the stairs, it's faster than the elevator if you run. Through the lobby, out the front door, and onto the street. These few things felt like a long day at the office. Sprinting down the street, dancing, weaving between pedestrians with what must have looked to them superhuman dexterity. Then the first flight of stairs at the metro, across the landing, another hour, then onto the second flight of stairs. That's when the Ambien hit me. The Ambien didn't make me sleepy. Not at all. Instead, it must have had a severe cross reaction with the experimental drug I took this morning. I was bounding down the second flight of stairs, moving in slow motion, but still making perceptible progress. Then wham! Everything stopped. The dull roar of the street and metro noise ceased, replaced by the most perfect silence I've ever experienced. My downwards motion seemed to completely freeze. Before the Ambien kicked in, my perception of time was maybe a few hundred times slower than real time. After the Ambien took effect, time moved thousands of times slower. Every second seemed like days to me. Even just moving my eyes to focus on a new point was like an impossibly slow scroll across my visual field. Over the course of the afternoon, I learned how to walk, run, and jump when my mind ran hundreds of times faster than my body. But with another 4 or 5 orders of magnitude of slowdown caused by the Ambien, body control was almost impossible. I fell on the stairs. Even though I was all but frozen in mid-step, controlling my muscles was impossible. I commanded my foot forwards for hours, then backwards for hours more when it seemed like I would miss the next step. Hours attempting to adjust the angle of my ankle, then readjusting when it felt wrong. Despite these efforts, I rode my ankle onto the next step. The pain wasn't at all mitigated by the slowness. Hours of increasing strain on my bent ankle. The nerve signals that send pain into my brain must work differently than the nerves in my ear. Sonic energy was spread out over time, diluted until it was imperceptible. Pain flowed into my brain undiluted by the change in my perception of time. Hours and hours of increasing weight on my turned ankle turned into hours of increasing pain upon increasing pain. I pitched forwards, my high-speed mind completely unable to control my low-speed body. I drifted downwards for days, managing to rotate my torso enough to keep my head from impacting the ground first. I eventually landed on my right shoulder. At first, the impact wasn't even noticeable. Then I felt a slight pressure in my shoulder as it came in contact with the ground. The pressure grew, bringing increasing pain for hour upon hour. My shoulder finally gave out, popping out of its socket with an endless, sickening tug.
Oh my
I I forgot you were here.
gosh.
Okay. I came I came to a stop days later, crumpled onto the ground, staring at the ceiling. The pain in my shoulder still screaming with the intensity of a fresh, violent injury. I had plenty of time to think during that fall. If every second seemed like days to me, then each minute of railroad time would be like years. Even if the drug cleared out of my system the next 2 or 3 hours, this nightmare would seem to last centuries. By the time I hit the ground, I had a plan. I would somehow get to the platform and throw myself in front of a train. I twisted onto my hands and knees, days of my dislocated shoulder crying for relief. I misjudged my rotation and rolled onto my back. I tried again, collapsing onto my face as I tried to figure out how to control a body that moved slower than grass grew. Weeks of effort were finally rewarded with success. I stabilized on my hands and knees. If just getting on all fours was this difficult, I figured that walking or running was completely out of the question. So I crawled. I crawled through the metro tunnel. The dumb looks on the faces in the crowd lingered on me for weeks. I crawled under the turnstile and onto the escalator. The escalator spilled the rush hour crowd onto the platform at the same speed a glacier spills ice into the sea. I looked out over the crowded platform during my interminable downward ride. The train status sign said that the next train wouldn't arrive for 20 minutes. 20 minutes was like a year to me. I'd have to spend a year on the metro platform, waiting to die. I crawled off the escalator, enduring days of stupid expressions on the commuters' faces. I crawled a few feet to a concrete bench and curled up next to it, trying to find a position to lessen the pain in my shoulder. Then my problem with time got worse, impossibly worse. The massive slowdown on the stairs was just the beginning of the interaction between this experimental drug and the Ambien. It fully hit me while I was curled up by the bench. I blinked. Years of darkness followed. Sound was already gone, and with my blink, sight was gone as well. All that existed was the pain from my fall. My accelerated mind wasted no time compensating for the lack of sensory input. Voices spoke to me. They sung to me in language that never existed. Patterns and faces and colors came and went in my mind's eye. I recalled my whole life, and I imagined living another. I forgot English. I settled into a profound despair. I spoke to God. I became God. I imagined a new universe and brought it to life with my thoughts, and then I did it all again and again and again. My eyes opened with geologic slowness, a faint glow, weeks, a slit of light, weeks, a narrow view of the metro platform, ankles of the commuters near me, and an advertisement on the opposite wall. I extracted my phone from my pocket, a project that spanned decades. How can I even explain the boredom? What happened?
I placed the torch down and the sand fell right in front of me and almost died.
Wow. And that's what got you to gasp.
Yeah.
How long is this story? Oh, it's about to end. Okay.
It's
I'm
about
like
to end. I
waiting for
still
the
haven't made
ending.
it to the nether.
Oh my god. Okay. Um, I extracted my phone from my pocket, a project that spanned decades. How can I even explain the boredom? The pain in my shoulder is nothing compared to the boredom. Every thought I can think, I have thought hundreds of times already. The view of ankles and advertisements never changes, never. The boredom is so intense, it's tangible, like a solid object of metal and stone wedged into my skull. Inescapable. What are my options? If I crawl and fall into the tracks without an incoming train to crush me, I won't die. I'll experience even more pain from the 4-foot fall, but I'll most likely be rescued by some do-gooder on the platform and unable to act when the train finally does arrive. My suffering in that scenario will be endless. So I wait for the train, so I can throw myself under it. When it finally hits me, I will experience the pain of being ripped to pieces for centuries until finally the light of life leaves my brain and my experience ends. I've lived hundreds of lifespans at the foot of this bench. I'm far older in spirit than any human who has ever lived. Most of my life experience has been a snapshot of pain huddled on the floor of a subway platform with an unchanging view of ankles and advertisements. This post is my plan B, my Hail Mary, my long shot. I've spent lifetimes typing and posting this message in the hope that someone will read it and become convinced that my suffering must end. Someone on this platform right now, someone who can find the man curled under the bench, the man who crawled down the escalator, and kill him as swiftly as possible. A bullet to the temple. If you're armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. Anyways, I would literally die if that actually happened to me. I don't know what I would do.
I
Honestly,
finally found the thingy.
you found what?
A lava thing.
It felt like hours reading that post, and honestly, if it took me like, oh my god, if it like, I would die. I can't just die, but like,
Right?
oh my god. See, this is why I don't do experimental drugs. I mean, I respect people who do
No.
it because
Oh.
imagine, I'm too scared. What if, like,
Same.
that is so scary.
How do I do this? How do I make one of these?
That took like half an hour to read that book or a story.
It's a whole half an hour. It's literally been a half an hour.
Literally?
Yeah.
This is called Distorted Warning Signals.
The what?
Okay, huh?
The what?
Wait, let me use this. Distorted warning signals. When I got the first one, I was literally seconds away from stepping onto the plane when a call from unknown blared from my cell phone. It was a ringtone I hadn't heard before, one that I was pretty sure hadn't come with the phone. Normally, I wouldn't have stopped to answer it, but I was expecting a call about a job I had interviewed for the previous week. I took a deep breath in and accepted the call. Hello?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm telling the story.
Oh.
Okay. Don't interrupt me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
Hello?
didn't realize that was the story.
Do not get on the plane. A woman's voice, garbled and strange, as if her vocal cords had been shredded, and she was trying desperately to choke out speech. Despite the unnerving, fractured quality of her voice, her tone was insistent and eerily calm. Then the call ended. I froze. I always had a slight phobia of air travel, and something about this call just... There's no way I was about to get on a 7-hour flight now. I turned around and headed towards a food court. I took another flight later in the afternoon, I figured. I watched from the airport Starbucks 3 hours later, as every TV in the terminal lit up with the crash footage of the plane I should have been on. No survivors. Not a single one. I tried to trace the call. So did the police. But there was nothing to trace. There was no evidence my phone had ever received a call around that time. They analyzed phone records, incoming and outgoing communication to my phone. Nothing. I wasn't making it up. I couldn't have been. That wasn't the only call. Throughout the years, they were few and far between, but always right. And I always listened. Do not go on that blind date tonight. 5 months later, my would-be date was convicted of killing 4 women, all with my hair color and build. Found them in a shallow grave about 250 feet from the diner he offered to take me to. Do not drive to the concert tonight. 18-wheeler lost control and plowed into a line of cars. Every driver crushed, every driver killed. In the stretch of freeway I would have been driving down.
Did I just...
No matter.
Can I just tell you the look I have right now? I just came out and I'm next to a fortress, a literal fortress.
Hurry up! Get that coin!
Hold on, I
And
need gold though.
Go kill the blazes. Go kill
Gotta
the
bought
blazes.
myself one because I need gold, and I can't let the
while you get
pickaxe
your
see
stuff.
me.
Okay? Keep going, love. You
But
got
keep
this. I believe
going.
in you. Okay. No matter if I got a new phone, if I moved across the country, the calls would still come. I could almost feel the presence of whatever it is, watching over me. I imagined being at the bottom of the freezing ocean, still strapped into my coach section plane seat, or being in that mass grave across from the diner, or watching an 18-wheeler skidding towards my car, knowing death was imminent, and I'd get this tightness in my chest. I think about how thin that line was, how close I'd gotten. If I hadn't had a job interview I was waiting to hear back from, I'd have never listened to that first call, and that would have been it for me. It always felt like something was coming for me, but there was always this fractured, warped voice with these calls that never seemed to exist after I heard them. Self-destructing warning signals, rotting away before my eyes, and I was alive. I had a bad feeling about this cruise. I had planned it as a girls' week, out with some old friends from college, and was looking forward to a week in the tropics in the dead of winter. But part of me could almost sense that the call was coming. Maybe I'd watched Titanic one too many times, but there was a little nagging fear from the start. I hoped it would be fine, but I knew that if something was going to happen, I'd get the call. I'd know. Now, a week before I'm set to go on the cruise, after stepping into my apartment after returning from dinner with a friend, I notice my cell has a message from unknown. They've never had to leave a message before. Haven't checked it all night. Damn it. And I'd really wanted to go on that cruise too. Well, not worth whatever horrific fate awaited me in that cold, dark ocean. I click play message and feel my stomach drop as I listen to the voice, sounding horrifically distorted, as if it emanates from a throat slashed to ribbons, crackling with more urgency than ever before. I looked around
I'm
my
literally
apartment
like,
as the
I have
voice.
chills right now.
I know, I'm such a good reader, right?
And the fact is that, like, I've heard this story before, and I'm just, like, getting such chills.
Dude, you know I'm such a good reader? I like audiobooks or whatever.
Yeah, you could.
I know,
You
right?
get some money off of that.
Period.
Period.
Okay. I look around my apartment as the voice on the phone repeats the same phrase over and over again. Do not come home after dinner tonight. Do not come home after dinner tonight. Do not come home after dinner tonight. And that's the end. I'm pretty sure she died, but it's okay. That's her own fault. She should have answered the
Oh
freaking
my
phone.
gosh, because she came home after dinner. I just realized what happened. She came home after dinner, didn't she?
Yeah. And then she left, like, the person called her, whatever, the thing called her before, and like while she was having dinner to tell her, and she didn't answer the phone, and so they left a message. And then once she answered the message,
Oh my god.
are you okay?
No,
Are you
no,
okay?
no, 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 I'm not, 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 no, I'm not. No, I am flipping not.
Oh my god, all these are so long.
There's 2 wither
I'm
skeletons
like, I
after me
don't.
right now. Literally 2. For what reason? I do not know.
Anything that's above 10 minutes, I'm like,
What's above?
you know what I mean? All of these are above 10 minutes long. 28 minutes? Hello. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, I can read this one next whenever you want. But I feel like okay, imagine if you got a call from someone telling you when you were close to death, or like when not to do something, and then it
I'm
would like
gonna
warn you,
die.
you know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
die. I'm gonna die right now. I'm literally gonna die. I'm literally gonna die. They're
How low are
literally
you?
gonna kill me right now. This is it. 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 One hit and I'm dead. One hit and I'm dead.
How low are
Literally,
you?
One hit. I'm dead.
The run is dead.
That's the end of the speed run, guys. That's the end. It's the end. We've been filming for like an hour. We can try again. You want to try again? Want to do a second
No,
attempt?
attempt 2 would be some other time. You know what I mean? Attempt 2 can come after.
Well, that's it. That's as far as I made it in how long? Let me stop my timer right now. 1 hour 10 minutes
Damn.
and 30 seconds. And I couldn't even get. There was like 50
Damn.
of them. There was literally like 50 wither skeletons. And then one came, I killed it, and then another came, and the rest were down the hall right in front of the blaze spawner. My luck
cannot
only
believe this.
runs so far.
You did your best.
I did my
What
best.
matters.
Yeah,
Anyway.
let's walk away from Minecraft. This is gonna be
My
the
head
end of
hurts from
today's
reading.
video. I will see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed my content, please hit the subscribe button. Please
Watch Tam's streams.
watch her
Period.
streams when it comes out. Whenever it comes out,
Never.
I'll leave a link. I don't know.